So, yeah, you could have had a better start to a bad morning.
Yeah, you could probably say that, Greg. What can you say?
Well, you could say a lot of strong words. I'm quite sure a bit of language would not have gone amiss, but these things happen. They talk about the luck of the Irish, but you're the most unlucky race on earth sometimes.
I'm not so bad, but Greg is not having great luck at the minute.
Yeah, it seems to me he clipped something very, very small and minor. And
he said that there's only a mark on the tyre, nothing on the wheel, nothing on anything. He said it was something that shouldn't have happened. It did happen.
One of the things I've always admired about your son is his ability to shrug off things when they go wrong. He really does deal with it as well, and probably a lot better than most, and he's had a lot to deal with in the past.
Yeah, I suppose maybe perhaps that's what taught him that he's got to deal with things, but isn't that the way rallying is? It's never black and white. You always have to keep drawing a line in the sand and move on.
Well, you've had plenty of experience of that yourself as a driver, haven't you? I mean, it's the most frustrating game. You wonder why you all do it. It costs you money as well, a lot of money.
That's right. You do for the buzz and for the adrenaline. But yeah, that's the way motorsport is. It's two people in a car. It's not like soccer, football, where you've got a team of people you can all encourage each other. When it goes wrong, it goes horribly wrong. But the reality is you've got to draw a line in the sand and move on every time.
Yeah. Lara last night must have been in a heck of a state. There's nothing worse for a co-driver than a checking in early. It's the ultimate, the last thing in the world that you ever want to happen. The ones that, sometimes co-drivers are only remembered for that. Terry Harriman, who took Ari Vatten to so many wins, is best remembered as the man who checked in early at Gap. And of course, the most famous win probably in Ari's long and distinguished career, 1985, Monte Carlo. But he'd rather not have happened. I think he said something about, I was lying in the bath one night and thinking, shall I slip my wrists now? But it can get quite pressured for a co-driver. And it's very important then for the driver to show the confidence in the co-driver, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I suppose as having never really co-driven myself, I don't think about it. Co-driver has a job to do. It's a horrible situation for any. It's the same, but, the driver puts a car off the road or makes a silly mistake and, you feel just as bad. Anyone that makes a mistake feels bad, but you've got to have the ability to be able to shrug it off and move on.
Now, where is the boy at the moment? Has the car come in already?
No, the car's not here yet. There should be next car in.
So the car next in. And what I found was interesting, we heard him, I don't know if you were listening, but we heard him talking about what it means when power steering fails. We think of it as making it hard to turn the car around, but actually the biggest problem is when you're going over the bumpy bits and the wheel is torn out of your hands. And that was a very good description about what really happens when you lose power steering on a rally car.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's happened on numerous occasions, and the hard to turn the steering wheel, that's the easy bit. It's literally, you can't commit, because if there's any bit of a bump, a dip, anything whatsoever in the road, it will snatch the steering straight out of your hands. And I don't care who you are, you won't hold the steering wheel straight. So you've got to back right off, and then that means you backed off too much for going around sharp corners, and sometimes you've got to even back up.
Yeah, very, very difficult. Now, you've been able to do an enormous amount, obviously, for Craig and his career. You backed him emotionally, you backed him financially, and all the rest of it. Are you now trying to take a slightly sideways seat, slightly back seat, and he's leaving a bit more to his manager?
Yeah, I'm leaving a lot more to his manager, Greg. It's my time with Craig with regards to his career is nearing an end, if it's not at an end. He's now a professional driver. Future Sport have taken him under their wing for this year and next, and he's got a great manager in Kim Batman. So between them, now they have to continue his career.
Kim, of course, son off.
Yeah.
Well, he's
famous man, yeah. Famous man in his own right. So.
Yeah, yes, and I suppose it's that point, isn't it, when I remember there's a line that Jimmy McRae said that he knew that his son had arrived. This was Colin had arrived when he was referred to, aren't you Colin McRae's dad, rather than isn't he your son, or something like that.
That's exactly what happens with me right now. You Craig Breen's dad?
Yeah, I'm very proud to be so.
Absolutely. I've lost my own identity, but that's okay.
Yeah. Well, his attitude to it has always been splendid. He wasn't going down in that last loop, and he's now got the chance to come back. And do we know what the damage actually is?
Well, it's something. It's leak power steering fluid. Like, there's no damage as such, but it's leak power.
Toes or a broken union.
Something like that. Yeah. But with some guard on, you can't see. So, assuming he gets back in here, they'll be able to fix it. It's quite difficult now to know what to do from here.
10 or so years ago, Marcus Gronholm used to have plenty of problems with this Peugeot power steering. Whatever he sort of touched at the front, the power steering went. And you can imagine a big, rangy man like that wrestling the wheel through. And you reckon he used to put on, didn't need to go to the gym.
Yeah, well, I'm sure it's quite difficult. There's no other way to describe it other than it's extremely difficult to get it through a stage, to try and go fast enough, not to hemorrhage time, but still not to take any more chances that you could further damage the car. So it's extremely difficult when it gets to that stage.
Here's some whistles behind us. I don't know if that's an incoming car. Of course, they're all taking it very carefully. They've been told there was a big sign at the end of the stage, no penalties, no problems. Well, because of the traffic issues yesterday. This is one of the Renaults coming in, I assume, because of the colour. Bright yellow one coming forward to us. Not quite sure what they're stopping them there for. What are they stopping them there for, eh?
I have absolutely no
idea. I thought it was some sort of special technical regulation because of that automatic barrier that can come down at any moment. So we're just watching the cars coming in one by one. It's, I think, a 50-minute regroup or something like that?
Yeah, 45, 50 minutes, something like that, Greg, yeah. And then into service and away again then.
So the boys will come in, come out.
I think he actually came in the wrong direction.
Yes.
I think he came up that way, didn't he?
You're in the wrong place, chump. That's car number 15. See who that is. That's his Consani. So Robert Consani's made his way back in. Yeah. Oh, well, of course. Robert Consani breaking wheel studs on his